All rise. Judge Vonda B court is now in session. Judge, this is the case of the cook.
Thank you.
Welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay, Ms. Cook, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, Your Honor, I've got a 13-year-old daughter and a ex-husband that's decided to start his life over, but I can't do that because I've got a child to take care of, and I need some help doing that.
All right, buckle up because this case is about to get really interesting. We've got a mom who's working hard to provide for her daughter and a dad who says he just can't pay child support because he's a full-time student. Now, that's a situation with some layers. Should a parent be off the hook financially just because they're in school, or should responsibilities always come first? And let's not forget he's going to law school. Will the judge see through this, or does he actually have a case? Stick around because this ruling might surprise you.
What do you mean by start his life over? He remarried?
He's decided to go back to school.
That's a good thing, right?
That's fine, but it doesn't help us any.
Okay, you mean financially?
Financially, right.
Okay, what type of activities are your daughter, involved in?
She wants to do cheerleading, and she's on student council.
Okay. And I'm assuming student council costs, they have a membership fee or something?
They have membership fees, and they have a lot of activities that they do that they're involved in because it's kind of a leadership thing, and so they have a lot of things that they have to go to as well.
Okay. All right, and you're just looking for some financial assistance?
I'm just asking for some help.
Sounds pretty straightforward, sir. Is there a reason why you don't want to give her any money to pay for your daughter?
Now hold up, he's remarried and back in school? That's a big life change. But does it mean he gets to hit the reset button on his responsibilities? Mom's making it clear, she didn't get the luxury of starting over. She's still got a child to raise. And that's the real question here. Should a parent's personal growth outweigh their financial duty? Let's see how the judge tackles this one.
Well, it's not that I don't want to pay, it's just I'm not working at all. I'm a full-time student.
Okay.
My tuition is paid for, and I've got a Pell Grant, and I get basically $3,200 for a school year to help cover my living expenses as well. So,
do they break that up by semester?
It's broken up by semester. I have to maintain grades and stay in school. I have to prove that to be able to continue to receive the grant. So I'm just trying to further my education. I understand my daughter's important to me. I love her very much, but I'm going back to law. I'm trying to get into law school, so I'm trying to figure out how to better it in the long run.
Okay, that sounds pretty fair, ma'am. Are you aware that he gets this Pell Grant money?
Yes, ma'am, I am. But I know a lot of students also work at least a part-time job.
Right.
And,
Here comes the classic, I'd love to help, but... He's saying he's a full-time student and doesn't have a job. And okay, law school isn't cheap, but let's be real, he's still got some income. So, should that money be untouchable just because it's for education, or does child support still come first? Let's see how Judge Vonda B handles this.
The money he's getting with the Pell Grant, I know it's not a lot, but again, I'm only a daycare worker, so I don't get a lot of money either, and I need some help even just with her normal everyday things. I'm paying for her insurance as it is, and just trying to keep things going is difficult.
Right, I understand, but you can't squeeze blood out of a rock. Okay, you understand that, right?
Yes.
He's only going to be obligated to pay whatever it is that he has as income. Although some students may work, not all full-time students have a job either. I mean, you have to take that into consideration. So,
oh, Mom's not letting that slide. She's pointing out that plenty of students still manage to hold down jobs, and she's got a point. College students all over the country are working to support themselves and their families. So the real question is, if others can make it work, why can't he? The tension is building, and I can't wait to see how the judge breaks it down.
Based on the information that he provided and that the testimony that you both gave, him confirming the amount of money that he receives from going to school, and you knowing that, that's all he's going to be obligated to give you at the moment. Now, later, at some time when he does, presumably go to law school or anything like that, you can receive extra money after he starts working. But as for right now, I can't take more from him than what he has. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So $3,200 per school year is not even, he's not even making a full year worth of that money. You said a semester is broken down, so like $1,600 or so.
Judge Vonda B is laying it out plainly. She can't take money that doesn't exist. That's just facts. But that also means mom is left shouldering most of the financial burden for now. Is that fair? Maybe not. But the law has limits, and sometimes that's just how it plays out. But don't worry, this case isn't over.
That's about right. So I'm living with somebody else that's going to school, so we're helping split the expenses, trying to make it last as long as we possibly can.
Right. So ma'am, based on what he's telling me, and I have to assume his testimony is true until you provide me with anything different. That's all he has at this time. So that's all that I can calculate off of. So because of that, $3,200 is not a lot of money. So I would have to base his child support on minimum wage. You understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Any sort of help would help.
Okay, it's something.
Right.
It may not cover everything, but you also work. So until he's able to get a better, not necessarily a better job because he's not working right now, but maybe, as he keeps going through school, he may get more money from a Pell Grant. We don't necessarily know, but until that happens, he'll be at this.
Wait a second, he's splitting expenses with someone else? That means his cost of living is lower than it would be if he were living alone. So, shouldn't that mean he has a little more flexibility to contribute? Mom might have a point after all. Let's see if the judge connects the dots.
Amount. So gross of minimum wage is $1,256. Net of $1,134.87, which brings your monthly obligation to $226.97. That's based on minimum wage. Okay. All right. Would that $226 help cover something with student council,
yes,
something
ma'am.
with cheerleading?
And there it is, the big moment. Since dad doesn't have a real income, the court is calculating his child support based on minimum wage. That's the law and it makes sense. But here's the kicker. This amount could change fast. The second his income goes up, so does his child support. So, dad better start planning ahead.
Yes, I just needed some help. I wasn't expecting him to do everything.
Okay. All right. And sir, you understand that, correct?
So when does that start?
That starts today.
Okay.
The obligation starts today. Just know that in the future, when you get a job or you start receiving more money for some reason from your Pell Grant, you have an obligation to report that. And if you don't, she can actually report it and bring you back to court. And at that time, you will be paying more than minimum wage and child support. Just want to make sure you understand that.
Now this is key. Mom isn't even asking for full financial responsibility. She just needs some help. And that's what child support is supposed to be. Help, not a punishment. So even though it's a small amount for now, it's at least something. But do you think it's fair? Let me know in the comments.
So if you become a big-time lawyer one day and, for some reason your child is still under the age of 18, your child support can still go up.
Judge Vonda B just gave dad a reality check. If he makes it big as a lawyer, he could end up paying way more in the future. And let's be honest, that's only fair. If you're making six figures, that $226 a month isn't going to cut it. So, dad might want to keep that in mind while he's hitting the books.
I got it.
Okay. Any questions from either of you?
Yeah.
Okay. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
So there you have it. In the end, the judge made a fair ruling based on the law. Dad has to pay child support, but only based on what he's earning right now. Takeaway. Being a student doesn't erase parental responsibilities, but the court also won't demand money that doesn't exist. What do you think? Should dad have been ordered to pay more? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you love these courtroom breakdowns, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more wild legal showdowns.